Hey, thanks for watching our show. We got another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at Sips Sports Bar. How can you beat this place? Beautiful spring day. You got all the TV screens on. You got meatballs, hoagie specials. Food's great. The best bartender in Dormont's here, Tracy. Maybe we'll get her on the air. Everybody likes statistics. This is our 10th show at Sips Sports Bar, so thanks, Sips Sports Bar, for having us here. You guys got to come out. 3024 Pittsburgh, PA 15216. You guys know how to Google it and find it. Speaking of Google, you can find us on Facebook, Pittsburgh Sportsline. You'll see our latest videos. If you can't do that, there's an old-fashioned way. Watch TV, Verizon 32 through the whole area. Public access TV for you folks that don't know about public access TV. Bethel Park, we have Comcast 7. We're also seeing, you name it, all around, from the city of Pittsburgh up to Plum, Upper St. Clair, and of course our hometown. Thanks to Bethel Park Cable for putting us on. Matter of fact, Dave Cable's the director there, and that is his real name. So thanks again, Dave. We appreciate the graphics. Of course, it's another great day in sports in Pittsburgh. Like I say each week, when isn't it? If we can't find something, somebody will make it up for us, and we'll talk about it. Chip, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind, Alan? What do you have to do in the NHL to get suspended? Do you have to murder somebody? If anybody watched the Penguin game Friday night, James Neal took an elbow to the back of the head. He's now concussed, and he isn't going to be playing for the next 3 games or for the immediate future. Here's another star of the game that's out because somebody used his head as a bowling ball. There's been a emphasis in pro sports about minimizing the blows to the head. And how this wasn't a penalty or some kind of fine is beyond me. But, I guess it speaks to the culture of hockey in general. This is a sport where, the only sport out where people fight and don't get ejected. And I guess if you're not going to throw somebody out of the game for punching each other in the head, I guess you can't do it for elbowing them in the head. But look at all the main stars in the game that are ending up being concussed. Sidney Crosby, his career was in jeopardy for 18 months, almost 2 years. Evgeny Malkin out this year with another concussion. James Neal. I think it's about time that hockey did some rethinking of these blows to the head. I mean, Roger Goodell in the NFL, you don't even have to be penalized, but the next week you get a fine or a suspension based on what they see when they review the films. And I think there ought to be something done along that line in the NHL. It's time for a change.
I appreciate your thoughts, Chip, but it's not going to happen there. You know that.
That's true, too.
All right, Smoking Jim, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Dale Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine.
Here, have a green pen, brother.
Thank you, sir. I want to welcome my best friend is here. My main man, Claudio. I tell you what.
I can't see him, though. The crowd's too deep here.
I tell you what, I've never met in my life a finer man than Claudio. He's a general manager of baseball. He's the head coach at Carnegie Mellon, and he's going to be a guest on our show later on. Please give my best friend a big hand, Claudio.
All right, welcome, Claudio.
Hold it, who'd he bring with him? That looks like the starting lineup at CMU.
The Pirates are 1-5. The Pirates are 1-5. Maybe the Altoona Curve ought to play the rest of the games for the Pirates. Hey, listen, I always say that a pat on the back is only 6 inches away from a kick in the butt. Listen, why did Mike Rice get fired from Rutgers University? They say he's a little too mean. Right now, Woody Hayes is rolling over in his grave. Listen, how about Bobby Knight? How about Billy Martin? Sparky Anderson? Hey, listen, did you ever see the movie Hoosiers? I think that coaches ought to be hands-on coach. Hey, listen, I love my high school coach. I played high school football at Gateway High School for the legendary Pete Annamarino, and he was hands-on all the time. Hey, listen, I played for 4 years. We lost 3 games. 1 year we went undefeated. We won a state championship. We were ranked number 5 in the nation, USA Today. And still at halftime, he used to put some of my teammates through the locker. Hey, listen, I would do anything for Coach Anna Marino. I would run through a wall for Coach Anna Marino. Of course, it would be a wall that he already put one of my teammates through already. But hey, listen, Rutgers University recruits their players from Philadelphia. And the only way sometimes to get through guys from Philadelphia is to hit them in the head with a basketball. Hey, listen, sometimes to turn boys into men, you got to use military tactics. Just like the Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Marines, they call it boot camp. Don't worry, Bobby Knight. Just like the Lone Ranger, Mike Rice will ride again.
You forgot to mention Frank Quish.
I'll just let you soak that up. He's like this every week, folks. There's no way we can compete with the volume. He blew out my left eardrum again. We're going to have to switch seats. That's how great it was. But he also forgot to say how Bobby Knight is now in a commercial with Digger Phelps. And what did he do? He threw a chair down, and he said, I can do better than that. So that's not a plug for that food place, but, you know, it's some neighborhood place. But we'll go from there. You know, I'm always promoting something, and we got this boxing tournament going on. We're going to have the finals in Smoking Jim's neighborhood. So
God's country.
Monroeville. That is in West Virginia for all of you Pittsburghers around here. And Erin's doing the camera work. She's great on that. That'll be at the 14th at the Doubletree Hotel. We already know Mount Lebanon at 2 p.m. You'll have me there, Smoking Jim, and our camera director lady here. Erin Ward's one of the best, no doubt. Then we'll be back at the Royal Place on April 20th, and we'll be there for a dinner, Hall of Fame dinner, with Andy Sebastian, who was on the show. Check out Rudy's Subs out in Swissvale and wherever he has them. Go there and mention our names. You'll still pay full price, but that's not so bad. Then there'll be fights after that at 7:30. So we'll go from there. Then I got to show you guys, we have a unicycle event July 15th, or what, 21st to the 27th. Sorry, I should know this by now. The Butler Wobble, we have Dave Crack. These guys want to know if that's his real name. He'll be here on the 22nd with 2 unicycles. He even told me one of them's about $3,000. I'm not going to go on it, but all of you are welcome back, especially the athletes we have. Chip Hayner's wife, Stephanie, who never wants to be on air. She'll be on air that week with a unicycle. Guaranteed. Now, what's on my mind? Just sports, but I was watching a great basketball game. Wichita State almost shocked the world. One of my best friends, Dave Brown, no relation to Mike Brown, is from Kansas. Because I drop names. They always tell me I drop these names, but I do know these people. Dave Brown from Wichita, he was just shocked. He's texting me, calling me. He goes, do you think they can do it? I said, no, I got Louisville and the Brenner Contracting basketball bracketology. Oh, Zach's in the house. Hi, little Z. Little shout out to him, dropping another name here. Well, anyhow, we go to the game. We're getting to the last 6 minutes, and all of a sudden the complexion of the game changed, Smoking Jim. There were a couple calls that were ticky-tack calls, and Chip talks about guys getting hit in the head. This young kid, Baker, goes after a ball because he's hugging the guy. He should have got a foul on that, which he did. The other guy hits him right smack in the face with an elbow. Both of them get fouls. No problem. They keep playing. The game changed. All of a sudden, Louisville's talent got better. A couple more fouls, and it was history. But what an exciting game. I don't care who you're rooting for. Zach, I hope we're winning that poll, me and Mike D. Are we in the top? Ah, jeez.
But not close enough.
You're not getting on until it gets closer. All right, that's the end of our first segment.
Good
We're
answer.
going to have guests coming up shortly. Our first guest is going to be Claudio, and we'll get him up here in a second. All right, Claudio, tell them who you are and what your sport is here.
I'm Smoking Jim Frazier's brother.
Can you give him the $5 more so he'll promote you again?
No,
Because that was the
he's
best
my boy.
intro.
No.
I'm not even going to try, but
No,
go ahead.
I'm very blessed. You know, real quick, my dad passed 9 years ago, and I said one of the people that I wish that my dad would have gotten a chance to meet is Smoking Jim. So Smoking Jim's a good guy. But my name is Claudio Rosano. I'm head baseball coach at Carnegie Mellon University. I'm also a professional baseball scout with the Paramount Scouting Bureau. And here I am on your show.
Well, how long have you been doing this?
I've been coaching for 30 years.
What?
30 years.
Did you start at 6?
18. And I've been scouting professionally for 13 years, and I've been at CMU now for 8.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I've been very, very blessed. It was always my dream to be in professional baseball and to do everything that I'm doing now. And I know my guys, they're here today, and they're tired of hearing me saying, but I'm very, very, very blessed to be coaching at CMU, and because of the type of guys that I have on the team. So it works out good.
That's also a pretty good institution, too.
It's a great school, obviously, but again, what makes a school is good people.
Well, how do you rally behind a Scotty is all I want to know. That's one of the questions I had with football, because believe it or not, I got recruited back. Dinosaurs just crawled out of the mud then, and I got recruited by Clausing. We got to eat on campus there, and we didn't know what a Scotty was.
I don't think we know what a Scotty is, but
Well, I'm going to ask a couple of the players.
They'll know what a
because I
tartan
know
is, what a
they're much
tartan is.
smarter than me. Smoking
And
Jim has
smarter
told
than
me
me.
that all week long. So, it's only Monday.
and they're smarter than me too. But they're good guys. They're great
Claudio, I
guys.
got something for you. I was
Yes.
reading in a paper the other day about a couple of pitchers in the Japanese league. They had one pitcher that threw 259 pitches in a 9-inning game. They didn't pull him. And then about 4 days later, he threw 159 pitches in a game. You and I have talked in the past about what we think about pitch counts and our dislike of them. And I was just thinking, you know, when I read that, I thought about you.
I have two.
Japanese Satchel Paige.
Well, I have two of my pitchers here, that two of my starting pitchers that can throw all day long. I'm not into the pitch count thing unless they're hurt or they're just tired. I mean, sometimes a lot of guys use it as an excuse. And I know growing up, as we talked about before, forget about the Seavers and the Ryans and the Carltons and the Palmers, but there were the B-level guys like the Jim Rookers, the Royces, and the Rodens, and guys like that. Those guys used to have 13 to 15 complete games a year, and they had 17 to 18-year careers, and they threw just as hard as the guys do today without the training that these guys have today. So I'm not really into that. Again, I have two guys, Darren Kerfoot and Brandon McNabb, that can throw all day long. Brandon has thrown 2 days in a row. And
you know what I think, by not allowing pitchers to throw like that, they don't develop the muscles.
they don't develop the arms, right? And they get hurt earlier because
like that.
they're not in shape. Their
You
arms
know,
aren't
I mean,
in shape.
like last year, the Pirates, the guy that led the Pirates in complete games had one.
Well,
and I think
yeah.
that's just a laughable statistic.
They baby him maybe because the contracts are so big, but again, I think they're hurting them more. Why is there more arm surgeries now than there were years ago? Dr. Job is happy.
Oh, yeah.
Money.
Yeah,
you
he's
got
making money.
doctors, think about it.
Right.
It's an industry now.
Exactly.
It
But-
wasn't before. Sandy Koufax's arm was 2 inches shorter.
Yeah.
And he had to end his career.
Well, yeah,
He had
the funny thing
arthritis
is
so
that
bad.
it's
that
not
he
until
threw,
after they have surgery that they teach them the proper mechanics
Right.
to throw right.
Well, again, I think it's like a guy who runs a mile every day. Is he in shape? He's in shape to run a mile. But if he can push it a little bit more, then he gets to be in more shape. So the guys who hit a wall at 108 pitches, and then they pack it in. Like they gave Burnett a standing ovation that he pitched 5 in the third innings.
Yeah.
Go try to take Bob Gibson out of a game after 5 in the third innings.
Yeah.
And
Jack Morris is another guy.
Jack
You
Morris.
got to drag him out on a stretcher.
Those guys pitched, again, they pitched for years. They had good curveballs, they had big fastballs, and they lasted a long time.
Well, and they knew as the game was going on that they couldn't pitch the same way they did in the first and second inning, but they still knew how to get strikes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They knew how to
don't
throw
forget,
strikes.
that's when they had the four-man rotation.
You're right.
So,
well,
different
look at
ball
a guy like Verlander.
Yeah.
Look at the shape he's in. He's throwing the same type of heat or more
Harder, yeah.
at the end of a game,
Right.
which is rare in this day and age. And they say, look at his legs and lower body, the strength he has there. And I wanted to get into some of your training there.
Well, again, look at Tom Seaver's legs.
Right.
And Nolan Ryan, what they do
Nolan
all the time.
Ryan.
They
Freestyle.
ran,
Right.
they did the bikes,
steps.
right, steps. And, whenever you use your legs a lot, you're taking pressure off your arm. So, and the one thing that I'm against, too, is the big weightlifting. Baseball is a long muscle sport, not a short muscle sport. The only guy I remember who had big muscles who could pitch for a number of years was Mike Marshall for the old Dodgers.
Yes, I do.
But everybody else, like the Colvys and the Keesons and the Candelarias, their arms.
Randy Johnson.
And
he had long.
There's long muscles.
They were like a slingshot.
Right, like a slingshot. And they didn't have, they weren't hurt. They asked Babe Ruth one time, how come you don't lift weights? He says, because that's more muscle for me to get hurt. And it's true. So
it's funny how you bring up Babe Ruth. If you go to our Pittsburgh Sportsline fan page there, I always put some Babe Ruth things because I think he's one of the greatest in history that could play today.
Well, I think he was probably the greatest of all time because what other player could have been so successful as both a hitter and as a pitcher?
He was an all-star pitcher.
He was an all-star pitcher. He had a World Series record that
just was broken.
Right. So obviously he could do both. I mean, as good as Hamilton is or Pujols, could they pitch? No.
But Hamilton and Pujols, they were good for a while. Then they get the big contracts, and all of a sudden they get these nagging little injuries, and they spend more time in the trainer's tub than they do on the field.
It is true, but and they're getting that paycheck.
Well, hey, look at Babe Ruth. They asked him the one year, you deserve more money than the president.
I had a better year than he did.
There you go. See,
there you go.
He could be my straight
right
man.
answer.
See, guys. And that was only about $80,000 a year. I don't know what it works out to now, but
a great line that Joe DiMaggio had. They asked him, two great lines Joe DiMaggio had. They said, "How much would you be making now if you were playing for the Yankees?" And he said, "What would you ask for?" He said, "I'd go to Mr. Steinbrenner's office and I'd say, 'Hello, partner.'" And then they also asked him, "What would you hit nowadays?" He said, "Well, I'd only hit about maybe 270. They said, "The great Joe DiMaggio would only hit 270? He says, "What the hell? I'm 73 years old." But that's the way they were.
Those are two great lines. Thanks for sharing them with us.
Italians are known for having great lines.
They got a million of them, huh?
Yeah.
No, that's good. So what else do you do here with the baseball guys? With training, I know you just don't train pitchers. There's different regimens for each, or is it similar?
Whenever I get hired to do any hitting camps, for example, or pitching camps, they expect some crazy, brand new method of training. And to be honest with you, I don't do that. For hitting, you tell them the basics. There's a lot of bad
We've
things.
talked. This is why I wanted you to bring this out, because people think it's changed so much. Only the money's changed.
Well, it's changed in the sense of what's being taught, and it's not being taught very well anymore, at least hitting. But I go, and what do we do? We give them the basics. We do soft toss, tee work, and we hit. Pitching, long toss, stretching, and just throwing. I mean, that's it.
You know what Ted Williams said about hitting? He said, just hit the ball between the stitches.
Yeah, really, yeah. It was easy for
Most
him.
people can't see that.
Easy for him. But I mean, I think what people tend to do is they make things harder than they have to be.
Right.
I mean, I remember Ricky Henderson one time. Not Ricky Henderson, Hank Aaron. He had the trademark at the wrong spot, and somebody said to him, "Hank, the trademark is supposed to be over here." He said, "I'm not up here to read." I mean, everybody wants to clone everybody,
right?
And you can't clone.
That's even like pitching. I know I pitch not as good as your pitches or anything else, but they would teach you different things. But everybody had their own style. Sometimes you're three-quarters, sometimes you're overhand, and you had to practice.
Right.
And you pitched batting practice to your other players. Sure. Some didn't want to face you, and that would happen. But you played all out each time.
Well, again, I grew up in a great era where the players had more personality, more color, more flair. You can call them hot dogs if you want, but I don't. I call them flashy. Right. And also with the Latin players. I love the way the Latin players play because they play natural. Now, a lot of the American players are being put in a funnel, and you have to bat this way. You have to throw this way. Well, how about if the kid doesn't want to throw that way?
Right.
I mean, there's certain adjustments that you make, and that's what you're supposed to do as a coach. But you don't, like, for example, I don't know what my players do. You go to a doctor, and he doesn't just start giving you pills. He gives you a physical first, and then he finds out what your problem is.
When we were kids watching the Hall of Famers, all the Hall of Famers I watched when I was a child, every one of them had a different, unique batting stance.
Right.
No, two of them were Willie Stargell used to sit there and wind up.
But nowadays, they want you to clone because they want their name to resonate through the game. The coach, hey, I want to win. If my player does something that I don't like, but he's successful, I don't care if he's batting 400. I let him go. Now, if he's hitting 220, then it's my job to fix him.
Right.
You know, but I don't get into the cloning thing at all because, like, I tell you what, if guys like Louis Tiant or Jim Palmer with the big windup or Julio Franco, remember he used to have that bat, like, they wouldn't play today.
What about Yastrzemski?
Yastrzemski, Clemente would step towards left field and hit a triple to right.
Well, how about rubbing the lines out in the batting box?
Yeah, well, that's for fast pitchers like Nolan Ryan. They used to tell the leadoff hitter, clean up that back line so we can see the ball
so they can cheat.
But you didn't have to worry with
inches.
Clemente. It was gone anyhow.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But the game has certainly changed as far as, again, wanting to clone or let's take pitches longer, whatever. You know what? Like years ago, the Pirates used to say, some teams look for the curveball, some teams look for the fastball. We look for the baseball. And that's what you got to do. Hitting is tough enough as it is.
So keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
And that's another thing that Ted Williams said. He said the single hardest thing to do in sports is hit a round ball with a round bat squarely.
Yeah, no question. You know, because the speed changes.
Boy, we're trading quotes
the
left and right.
We're
all throwing lines.
History buffs.
I grew up with all Italians, though, so I'll throw a few lines around.
But unfortunately, I think the game has suffered because of that.
Right.
And but you know, I can only do so much. I worry about my team, like John Calipari always says. I worry about my team.
Another Pittsburgh guy.
Another Pittsburgh.
But you're still at the same college. I got to give you credit there. Okay.
Well, he'll be at Kentucky for a while.
Well, I hope.
Yeah, he'll be there for
until he wins another
Just none of his players will be.
Yeah, right.
They're one and done no matter whether they win.
But you know what, though? A lot of the guys who complain about him, or a lot of the coaches who complain about him, they recruited those same guys.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining. I'm just stating the fact.
Yeah, well,
I like him. I was hoping he'd be there this
He's coaching
year.
within the rules of the system. You know what I mean? He's just working the system better than the other coaches.
If he did anything wrong like people think he does, they'd have caught him. There's more eyes on him. You know, it's like a peacock following him around.
Oh, yeah.
But,
There's no question about
How
it.
true. So what else do you do with your scouting? And
We
can people get a hold of you anywhere? Because I like doing a little shameless promotion for people. And since you're a guest of the show, why don't you tell them how they can get a hold of you? Either website, phone number.
Paramount Scouting Bureau is the name of our scouting company. And we run trial camps throughout the country, and I evaluate players. They're brought in through invitation, referrals, and open trial camps. I evaluate them, whatever level I feel they can play on, be it major league organization, independent, or overseas, then I try to place them. And I've been fortunate enough to place 62 players to pro contracts all over the world since 2001, so very blessed to be able to do that.
And how do they get a hold of you there? I'm
to the-
confused.
okay.
I know who you are.
Go to
I
the-
like you. I got your number now.
Go to the Paramount Scouting Bureau website, or which is ParamountScouting.com,
Thank
or
you.
call Smokin' Jim Frazier, and he'll get a hold of me.
And now you can call Al Levine because we traded phones, and now I got his number.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
we'll get a hold of you. Hey, Claudio, thank you very much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right, we got one of the CMU baseball players from Claudio's team. I don't know these guys, so introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brendan McNabb. I'm a junior pitcher for CMU baseball.
Great.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the show. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
And how long have you been playing baseball?
Ever since I was 4. I mean, my dad showed me how to throw and hit, not necessarily well.
Did you have that?
My mom showed me how to throw better.
You can give a shout out to your parents. This will be on YouTube. It'll be in the area, so you can tell them thanks for all that. Did he have the big plastic bat like I did with my kids when they were 2? I used to throw little like marbles and things at them, just let them hit.
It was always soft toss though, because whenever I tried to hit
No,
off a tee,
overhand.
if I tried to hit off a tee, the tee's going down. It's just,
Really? You had good coordination back then.
Very good,
Okay, and I'm sarcastic here, so you appreciate it. And then, where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Boston. I went to high school in Catholic Memorial. Shout out all those people. It's in West Roxbury. All my friends back home.
There you go. He's getting his 2 or 3 minutes of fame right now that we got you. Okay. What's your record so far this year?
What's our record, Coach?
4-7.
4-7.
Okay, we'll try not to promote that too much.
No.
What's your individual pitching record?
1-3.
We're not going to promote that much.
No, come on. You know?
Like a 3.7 ERA.
Okay.
You know what,
All
though?
right.
Hey,
Something.
You know
Are you a
what? You got to
power
be
pitcher,
proud that
or
you're
do
getting
you
up there and
throw
putting it
a
on
lot
the
of
line.
Curveball, sliders, whatever. Or?
I'm a junk baller.
Okay. I didn't want to say that. I was trying to be kind to your Boston friends up there. I don't want them busting your chops much.
Just sliders, curves, knuckleballs.
Do you get it over the plate?
Not usually.
Alan. Alan.
Not usually.
I had to help him out.
No, usually they swing at bad pitches often enough, though.
So you fool them.
Enough, yeah.
Okay, good. And how many more games do we have in the season here?
6 or 7.
Okay. And you have another chance to pitch a game or two?
Hopefully, if Coach lets me go back out after that terrible Penn State game.
Hey, that's all right. It's not
Well,
about
we'll try not
it's
to
not
relive.
about how poorly you do. It's how you bounce back afterwards.
Exactly.
You know. So
Like your coach will tell you, this will build great character.
Yep, it happened. We dealt with it. We'll move forward.
very
Right?
cool.
Hey, on that happy note,
As a pitcher, you got to learn
thank
to have
you.
a short
I appreciate
memory.
you being here.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
Hey, it was nice meeting you. Remember, as a pitcher, you have a short memory, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now we have another one of the CMU pitchers, I was told. You might as well. No, you're not a pitcher? Cleanup hitter.
Not yet?
I wish.
Oh, jeez. What player are you? They gave me the line. Of course.
Big lefty.
Oh, that's great. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Mike Tarek. I'm the junior first baseman.
And where are you from?
I'm actually a local boy. I'm from Munhall. Played for Steel.
We have a local.
There you go.
We have a local guy here.
Steel Valley High
Little
School.
Z, Zach Brenner.
Yep.
You'll hear him later in the show. He'll be our cleanup hitter on the show. He's right from Munhall. Brenner contracting. I don't want to bring out his towel.
Yeah, don't bring out the towel. Al.
Too early yet.
Yeah.
So in high school, you guys used to get beat by Stowe Rocks all the time, huh?
From time to time.
Well, let me ask the usual question. When did you start playing
I was born
baseball?
with a baseball in my hand.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know how to throw it very well until recently, but
That's
I've been
good.
playing baseball my entire life.
And
or
you
at
love
least
it.
trying. Oh yeah, I love baseball.
And I forgot to ask your friend what subject he's studying. What are you studying at CMU?
I'm studying policy and management. I'm going to try to be a lawyer.
Nice. We may need one after the show here. Okay. You might have to keep us out of trouble if you don't mind. And,
What year are you in?
I'm a junior.
Junior?
Yeah.
what's your batting average? Hey, Claudio.
What are you doing?
Claudio,
You're killing these
I'm the
kids.
best softball interview guy in the world, and your guys are striking out. This is killing me. Hey, what'd you think of the weather today? Nice spring day? Did you guys practice before you come out here?
No.
Oh, that's a break. Okay. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Hey, thanks a lot.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Nice to meet you. Best of luck
What's
to
your
you.
size?
All right, you might as well introduce yourself. I gave up guessing. I only got 2 more choices. Give us your name and position. And
My name is Derek Kerfoot. I'm a freshman. I'm a pitcher.
I'm
the
Alan
shoulders
B.
on
All
this
right.
guy.
Whoa, what a
muscles
Dude,
handshake.
it's a pleasure. Nice to meet you. He's got a grip on him, too,
And
man.
what subject are you studying?
I'm studying mechanical engineering.
Nice.
What's he telling me?
Well, we won't talk to Smoking Jim about that, about his degree at Cal U. So, yeah, he looks up to you, even though you're not as tall as him. You know, he does look up to you. He'll tell you later on. How long have you been playing baseball?
Since I can remember, probably about 4 years old.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm from Southern California, so baseball's a big thing.
Nice.
Are you from Compton?
No,
What brought you to Pittsburgh then?
yeah, school.
No, it is a great school.
Yeah.
And then you get to play baseball too. I see what Claudio's
What do
working
you
with now.
think of Pittsburgh Winners?
These guys are coming for the education.
What do you think of Pittsburgh Winners coming from Southern Cal? Not
These
so
are
much, huh?
Hold
It's
on,
a lot warmer back home,
It's
huh?
not so
I
bad.
like this weather today. Today's was nice.
Did you enjoy it
Oh
today?
yeah, sandals,
Yeah.
shorts.
Where's the shorts at? You didn't have to dress up formally.
I do
You
the
could've
same
worn one of your
thing,
jerseys.
but my toes turn purple. That's all. The same color as Al's
What
shirt.
kind of record do you have? I've asked everybody else.
I have enough wins. I got
Okay.
a few wins.
I like a diplomat. You might want to be a political diplomat. All right. It sounds like he might have 2 wins here. Oh no! We're not going to bribe.
Stabs it out.
That's okay, guys.
We're not.
You know what?
We won't bring that
You have
up.
the
You're a true
courage to go out there
gentleman.
and put it
You're
on
going to
the
be an
line.
engineer. I used to like selling insurance to engineers because when you answer all their questions, they got to buy. When this kid gets that curveball and fastball over the plate, Undefeated.
I got to interrupt.
There's no doubt.
I got to say something real quick. All right, right now we're having a little bit of a tough season, but, okay, I don't care if Pitt goes undefeated or Point Park goes to the World Series or whatever. Trust me when I tell you, I'd rather have we're going to be fine. We have 6 games left, and we're not going to lose the rest of the season. But I can promise you, I would not trade my guys for anybody else. I have a good group of guys, and
that's the way a manager should be talking about his team.
and
Thanks, Coach. It means a lot.
That was Boston. That was from Boston.
I won't hog this up too much more. I won't hog it up too much more, but I swear to God, I have a great group of guys that I enjoy seeing all the time, and I'm very blessed to have them. Our record, trust me, check our website out, cmubaseball.com. I guarantee you we're not going to lose the rest of the season.
Repeat that again because
cmubaseball.com. We will not lose another game. I'm being like Joe Namath, guaranteeing we will not lose another game the rest of the season.
I guess,
And those guys are being a little humble. He can throw his ass off. The next kid can hit a ball. He can crush the ball in the 400s.
Hold on, what about the other two?
Brendan can pitch all day long and make people look like fools. And Mike has worked his tail off to become our starting first baseman, and he's a damn good player as well. So don't let them fool you by being humble. That's it. I'm done.
Thanks, Claudio.
Fix that up there, engineer.
he doesn't have to pitch to me to make me look like a
Well,
fool.
I wanted to,
By myself.
Claudio, I wanted to help you out here. I went to KO here back in the 70s, and our records weren't that great. And there's no disrespect, men, here. I appreciate humble guys. And I know if they're going to CMU, they're a class act, because I know what they have to pay there to go. So I do understand that. So you have to work hard on the education. Now I know why you didn't practice today. So it makes sense. Hey, good luck to you.
Good luck.
And we're going to come see a
Best of luck,
game.
man.
I
We're
want to
gonna
see
come
you
see you
throwing
play.
on that
We're
game.
going to come see you guys play.
You tell everybody who you are.
I'm Kyle Waldersdorf.
Where are you from?
New York, Westchester, New York.
All right.
By the city.
You can shout out to anybody you want to
Nice to meet you.
talk to.
Meet you guys.
Anybody you want
Girls be
Pops,
chasing
Ma.
these guys, man.
And my buddy Mike D, all those guys. So, yeah.
All right, now, I've asked everybody when they started with baseball. Everybody's giving me the same line. When did you start? Last year?
The first story I heard was I threw a baseball across the room when I was in the crib, so I couldn't even remember. So,
What did you break with it?
one or two chandeliers.
Who'd you hit in the head? Because I know my son could throw a baseball, and he always hits somebody in the face out of the crib. So
Funny story about that. I mean, I actually have a track record for hitting our assistant coach in various parts of his body. So
Who's your assistant coach, Mike Rice?
he retired after about the 4th time. So
was he wearing a cup?
unfortunately, we won't talk about that.
Alan.
We're all sports guys. We had to bring up something there. Why don't we talk about your performance on the field here? I heard you're a heck of a hitter here.
Yeah, I hit. I think Claudio does me a huge favor by letting me pretend to dance around in the left field for a little bit, then I get up to the plate. So
Nice. Nice. Well, then what's your batting average?
I think it's like 380 right now, or something like that.
Wow.
Around there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Any home runs?
2 right now. So,
That's not bad.
Batting average is the same as your GPA.
No, it's lower. It's lower. He's at CMU if they're watching it. His GPA isn't 382. It's higher than that. Come on now.
yeah, right.
I'm his PR guy right now. I'm signing up. And what are you studying?
Architecture. I'm a 4th-year architecture student and master's in construction management. So
Nice. Are you a junior or a senior?
I'm kind of both. So architecture is 5 years, so I'm in my
Right.
4th year. So
Nice.
Want to play
That's
in the
great.
major league?
you know, I did, still do. We'll see what happens. Maybe Claudio, yeah. See what he can do for
Hey,
me.
you know, never
He
give
might
up
be
the
a-
dream,
Yeah,
man.
never
Never
give
give
up
up
the
the
dream.
dream.
Keep hitting.
Yeah, keep hitting.
Hey, thank you very
Thank you,
much. It was a
guys.
pleasure. Good
Absolutely.
luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
Nice
You
meeting
take care.
man.
Thanks for
Good
being
luck.
on the show.
Good luck.
I love New York.
Welcome back, buddy. I'm glad you're awake.
What's going on?
Yeah.
They
You're like Rip
Big
Van
night,
Winkle.
how are
They
you?
literally put me to sleep last week.
No.
Sure, it wasn't Smarster.
I can't fault Samarja. I mean, hey,
Thanks, guys.
he did mow down 13 Braves.
Yeah. Very true.
last start. I mean, he lost, but 13 guys went down in
Right.
like 5 innings, I think.
It was 10 in 5 innings, if
Sick.
you need to know.
No,
It was 10.
13.
I thought it was.
No. Against the Braves, he had 13
Oh,
strikeouts.
yeah. I'm talking about the game
So
he pitched.
that wasn't like they were facing,
Right. Good point.
some Johnny come lately pitcher. So,
You're exactly right.
well, I guess I have to come at you fast and furious here.
I'm hoping.
Well, let's talk about the greatest coach ever, Jim Boeheim.
Okay.
Did his players and him ingest like acid on that couple timeouts with under a minute left? When you have the ball and you're down 2 and there's no shot clock, could somebody explain to me why you're going to try to take a shot with 21 seconds left? Now, I realize that call could have went either way.
Right.
Trish could have been called, not for a charge, but it could have been a block.
Yeah.
He makes 2 free throws, ties the game up. But Michigan now has the ball with 21 seconds left and has a chance to win the game. So what's going through your head? Why do you not take the last shot? And then, Michigan, of course, only makes 1 out of 2. They have like 8 seconds left. They call a timeout,
Right.
Syracuse. And their play is to run it into the lane and throw up a shot. When you're down 3, did somebody forget basic math skills? You're down 3, 2 does not do anything for you with 5 seconds left.
Do the math.
Maybe they should stay and get their degrees.
My God.
Well, our
I guess
CMU
nobody's
guys have
going
left
to the
the
NBA
house,
Connect class.
so they could have broke that down into mathematics for
I
you
was
on how
hoping
you
they
do
would
it.
stay so I could ask that question. I mean, I figured them guys, they're pretty smart. I figured if you're down 3 and you score 2, that still equals an L.
There's no question about them being smart, and I'm sure they understand sports. They're sports guys too.
Yeah, they look pretty good there. Like trees standing in front of me, but what are you going to do?
I know. I didn't think you could get here. It looked like Syracuse.
I was going to be like Moses, like part the sea to get through those guys.
You're getting biblical.
Now, how about Wichita State? I don't know about you, but at the end of the game, possession does not, in my view, count as having one hand on the ball,
Right.
and the other guy has 2. So how that was called a possession and Louisville got the ball back with 8 seconds left, that's a call if you're a stripe.
Now, you know what? That's
stand
I'm
back.
glad you bring that point up because, I think what they ought to do in college hoops is get away with just do away with the possession arrow.
Make it a jump
Make
ball.
it a jump ball.
At
Because
the
you know what?
worst.
That would make their referees actually have to toss the ball up and do a little something more than what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't want to overtax them or what. I think that's what they should go back to.
That's a horrible way to end the game. It was a great game.
Right.
You said so. And for them to not have a shot at the end because
Because of
a
possession
ticky-tack
arrow.
possession arrow
Right.
that favors Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's not lose
You know
the
what?
game
Let
like
the players
Right.
let the players win the game on the floor. Don't let them.
Exactly. Don't be
possession
part of the
clock
game.
change the
Don't be
outcome
Paul
of the
Stewart,
game.
as an NHL referee. Your job is just to
Absolutely.
maintain the game. You're not supposed to, determine the game. And that
Right.
determined the game there. I'm not saying that Wichita State would have went down and hit a 3 and tied the game and went to overtime.
Oh, yeah,
You
they would
just
at
took
least-
away
they
their
would have at
chance
least
to
had
do
a
so.
chance. They
Yeah.
would have at least
Right.
had a
You
chance.
sound like my good friend Dave Brown. That's why he called me up, like I said. My dad refereed for years. You would have loved meeting him. He was a referee in basketball, college, high school, all the way from grade school up he did it. And he said, if you notice a zebra, then there's a problem.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to notice me in a game. And that's what he believed and he practiced.
Early in the game, you want to set a tempo, what
Well,
you want to do
that's
as a crew. But at the end of the game, you want to, especially in that atmosphere of the Final Four,
Right.
that game, that many people are watching, and a lot of people are rooting for Wichita State because they're underdog, they're a 9 seed.
Right.
You don't want to end like that. I mean,
No.
my God. I mean, wow. I mean,
Not at all.
Oh, what a disappointing way to end it.
They'll let
No,
the
but it
players
was still a
decide
great
the game
game.
on the floor. That's what they need to do, is let the players decide the game on the floor.
And that happens. You'll have that. It just makes you wonder. It just seems suspicious. Maybe the referees are a little bit of fans and they like Louisville. They're in their bracket. Maybe that's what happened. It just swayed their call.
Well, Alan, you know what that makes me believe? Me being this conspiracy theorist.
I'm with you.
You look at the betting lines and you look at how some of these games go, and it just makes you scratch
It
your
just
head.
happens to be right at the line every
Yeah,
time.
it makes you scratch your head. I don't know. Not
Chip, I'm
trying to
already with
infer
you.
anything, but sometimes I think.
This is just our opinions, folks, and we've been expressing this for over a year and a half, that we have these opinions, at least on air, anyhow.
I'm pretty sure that tonight Louisville will probably win by 6 or more. they just seem destined
Well,
to do
I
it
want
now.
to tell you what, that one kid McGarry for Michigan, I've been watching him throughout the whole tournament. I didn't get to see any of Saturday's games. I was busy watching Eric Clapton light up the console. But, he's been playing amazing. The whole tournament, setting picks, bone-jarring picks. He's in there fighting for rebounds. He's putting in, putting in
Both have
baskets.
just tremendous squads. I think tonight is going to be.
I mean, this kid's a
great
freshman,
game.
and he's playing like somebody needs to remind him, hey kid, you're a freshman. He's playing like beyond his years.
We're going to see a doozy tonight. I think we'll see a pretty good game. I prefer Michigan wins.
Right.
Although I think Louisville will win. I mean, I'm just not a fan of Pitino. Like I said, in 2011.
Wait a second, that's our bracketology. We're trying to win that Brenner money there, buddy. He's
I
hiding.
know,
He's hiding. Me and you. Pittsburgh Sports Nation. Check him out.
For for the guy I hate the worst. I mean, out of any coach. In 2011, he was quoted when all this stuff was going on with the Big East and Pitt and Syracuse. His quote was, I cannot envision the Big East without Syracuse. And then he turns around a couple seconds later and goes, but I can envision it without Pitt. Now, who are you with Louisville, who just come out of the Conference USA, to talk about a founding member of the Big East? Keep your mouth shut about some.
To speak to something else Pitino said. Something else Pitino said. He said, when the Big East started letting in Boise State and TCU and San Diego State, he goes, that's when I knew that the end was near. I mean, like. How could you call it the Big East if you got a team on the West Coast?
Well, it was like the east of the world.
Well, it's east of China.
Eastern Hemisphere, I guess.
And that's what happened. It's about the money, and that's what changed everything here.
Yeah, it's brutal. And I've talked to a couple, people that are fans of West Virginia, and I asked them, was it worth it that your closest team that you're going to play is 900 miles away? And there's like, we don't think we're going to be able to win the next couple of years in football or basketball.
Sure.
And I think within a decade, I think you're going to see some stuff changing again back to normal. Because to me, I would just let football do its own thing. Let basketball and the rest of the sports maintain their own conferences. Football does what it wants anyway.
Well, when they start paying the players, it'll change. When they start paying the football players,
never going to happen.
It's going to change. I
can't see it happening with those guys.
I'm outspoken. I'm outspoken here. That may happen in our lifetime.
Mike, let me ask you a question. I brought it up to these two earlier. What do you think about the talk about Brittany Griner going to trying out for the NBA? I mean, I think she's got a right to do it.
She has a right to do it. Nothing against all the lovely ladies that are watching in the room and all that stuff there, but you're not competing in the NBA. Not going to happen. I don't care how good you are, but you're going against men who are physically superior. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's just the way it is. I'm not saying that she can't play ball or she do good for a little bit maybe.
Right.
But in the end, you're not going up against Kevin Durant and something. No. Sorry, I don't know. No.
I'm glad Big Mike D's with me on that one. Let her be a superstar with the women.
She can try, but
she wants to give it a shot. I believe she has the right to try.
Give her a shot. I mean, hey,
hey, you know what? Maybe she surprises everybody. Who knows?
She could shock the world, like the Shockers almost did it.
I do have one thing.
Like Cassius
All right,
Clay
let's
did.
get you one more thing in here, buddy.
Now, regarding some of the people on my site,
and
actually Pens fans everywhere, would you just remain calm? Remember Kevin Bacon? Remain calm. All is well. Okay.
Yeah, right.
We have 58 points. The Rangers have 42.
Do the math for
There's
them,
9
please.
games left. If they lose tonight, which they are losing to Toronto, the Penguins win one more game. They have the division. So we have 9 games to get these new guys to learn the system.
Right.
And the rest of the guys to get healed up. The goal is April 30th. The next 9 games, if guys are hurt, there's no need to push for their return right now.
Here's what's the most important. Have the team healthy in 3 weeks.
Yes.
Okay? We've
Your
got
day
9
is
we've got
April
9
30th.
games left. Let the players play. Let the guys that are hurt heal.
Yes.
And we need to play well in May and June, not in April.
April 30th is the day that the playoffs start. That's the day you want a full and healthy team. And honestly, if that team is healthy, there is no one beating them in a 7-game series.
Let me tell you something. If you see that game against the Rangers on Friday night, Marc-Andre Fleury, I mean, he's not in the net. we lose that game 5-1.
He was very, how should I say?
He's the
from
horse
what I
we're going to
read,
ride to the cup.
Very disappointed the night before. As you've seen, you never see Fleury angry in that. He took that one save and he slapped that puck into the thing, because it was like, even he was like thinking, what are we doing in this game? I mean, it's one thing to lose, but it's another thing to get thoroughly destroyed like they did that night. But it's going to happen. You're going to have bad games, especially when you're losing like your best players. No Crosby, no Letang, no Martin.
Right.
You're going to have, we're going to have a hiccup now and then. But like I said, the goal is these guys come back. God help everybody.
Do you think it's valid, the criticism that Evgeny Malkin's getting right now about how his season's a disappointment? Now, here's a guy who's been hurt for a fair amount of the season, but he's still averaging a point a game.
Yeah.
Most guys can't do that for a week, average a point a game, and he's doing that over the season.
It's unfair, I think, to judge Gino right now. You do expect more of him. You expect to see a little more like movement out of him, but I think that's coming. I think he's also someone, his shoulder's been hurt, and that limits.
They all have injuries, and you don't know how they react to those injuries.
I honestly think that playing in the KHL was more of a detriment to him than coming into the NHL, because you were playing on a larger ice surface and with less talented players, so he could get kind of sloppy over there. And if you noticed at the beginning of the year, he was turning the puck over a lot, leading to breakaways the other way, which, he had the ability to be lazy in the KHL because he was playing with a lot less talented players.
Okay, we're going to have to cut this short because we got a couple more great guests. But if you like the comments that Big Mike D was making, go to Pittsburgh Sports Nation. You can find him everywhere: Twitter, Facebook. He blogs, and we still have
videos. You like that video I put up?
I did check it out.
You like that Star Wars theme video?
I like the Star Wars theme. And then check us out. Like him, like us, and hey, thanks officially for all those likes. This guy single-handedly brought us over 200 likes. Thank you.
Welcome, anytime.
And we're going for more.
Let's keep it rolling,
We're going for more.
Come on. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Welcome to our show at Sip Sports Bar.
It's my favorite hangout. My buddy Tina got the best bar in time.
Nice. We don't mind self-promotion and shameless promotion. You missed her last week. She didn't even see the video that I sent by email. It's on YouTube. It's on Verizon. You can check it out on Verizon 32 on Public Access TV. It's everywhere. It's already been shown a dozen times. What's that?
I call her my Aunt Tina.
Okay, Aunt Tina then. What do you think of the new Sip Sports Bar from how it was?
Hey, I'm going to tell you what. It's an oasis in the desert up here, man. With it.
Nice. I like your description.
We can see people now.
Right. You can see them coming in now.
There's not a bug in the place.
Nice. Hey, we got to at least bring up some of your Pitt stories here. Yeah, okay. We're all fans of Pitt. Well, some of us are. At least I am. I don't know about these two guys. All right. We got fans.
Definitely.
We're all fans.
My sister and my mother were Pitt alum.
Okay.
So there you go. You got a friendly crowd here. We remember your days and you flying all over the place, and I can't believe you're still able to talk and everything.
You know what? My 2 or 3 of my roommates when I was at Pitt, like they got hip hop, they got new hips, one got a new knee, one.
Right.
And like.
What'd you get replaced?
Nothing. I'm still hanging in there. I think it's.
Yeah. Let me shake your hand.
I'm going to tell you what it is. Spaghetti every Wednesday and Sunday. That's
What about eating at Zip Sports Bar?
Yeah,
forget
spaghetti and meatballs right at Zip.
Forget Atkins.
How about the meatball hoagies and fries?
Oh, man, they'll blow you right away.
That's what keeps you in shape like the Kamikaze Kid. That's one of the greatest nicknames that I ever heard, especially in Pittsburgh.
Thanks. Byron Coop named me that.
I know. That's a friend of our show, friend of my dad, grew up with him, so we just appreciate the history in Pittsburgh. Everything's so interconnected here.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up, Chuck?
Well, I'm from Upper St. Hazelwood.
Okay. I know the area well. It's changed since those days. It doesn't smell as bad.
No, you're right. You know what? You're right. You couldn't leave
I
your
drove
bedroom.
by there a lot.
When I was a kid, 16, 17, I went to Central Catholic for 3 years. I went to Boyle. You couldn't leave your bedroom windows open because the soot from the steel mill would come in your house.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So you had to leave your we didn't have.
So you just wore dark clothes.
No, you couldn't lean on your car. If you were playing football and the football hit the thing, it would scratch your car because of soot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
The
was
street
that
ball
bad.
was
It
rough.
that
I
bad.
remember those days very
It was
well
that bad.
growing up.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid growing up, walking to grade school, have to put a white handkerchief over our mouths walking to school.
It was
when
bad.
the wind would shift from the coke
Oh,
ovens
that's
down in
what
Clare.
kept you in shape. It preserved
It
you.
was
I
bad.
think so, maybe.
Upper
Hey,
St.
right
Hazelwood,
over
folks.
here.
You don't hear that every day.
Well, I was right
Hey,
down
when I
here
call
in
for
Whitehall.
Chinese food, the lady
Smell
said
the
to me,
sulfur. You could
"Where do you
taste
live?" I said, "Hazelwood." She goes, "We don't deliver there." You know what I mean? So I had to change the name.
Nice. Where do you live at now?
Well, I live up on the
Lower-
hill, so I
lower
call
up.
I said, "Get off the Square Hill, get off the Parkway, make a right at the Square Hill Plaza."
Nice.
They have no clue. They're right in Hazelwood, but it doesn't say Hazelwood.
That is brilliant. I appreciate it. You're the best. Hey, thanks, Kamikaze
Thank
Kid.
you.
It was a pleasure having
Hey, it
you
was
here.
nice meeting
We'll have you
Nice
back
meeting
on
you.
again when you're in the neighborhood.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. You take care.
He's got a,
All right, we got the last guest coming. He come from West Virginia, Scottsdale, Pennsylvania.
That's right. We got another new boxing champion.
Little Z.
From the city
Little
of champions.
Z's back. My man. Hold on.
Where's Thea? Where's Thea?
It was warm in here. My goodness, here. Did you? Oh man. Thanks for coming in. Whoa, what is that? Hey, welcome to the show. I'm
Zach,
glad you
we've got
could make
another
it.
champion in the city of champions. You want to
we have
tell us
another-
what's going
We have
on?
another champion. The first thing on my mind I want to touch on is I was fortunate enough to meet the legend Bruno Sammartino and have breakfast with him this past Friday before he went to Madison
You
Square
had
Garden.
breakfast with him.
Yeah,
What was that
I
like?
saw you on the news. Did you really? Yes, I did. He got his picture.
Hold it.
taken
Can I
with
get
him.
your autograph?
Did you really?
Sign it in green.
My hero.
He was on
Hold it. He's
Action
signing in green.
Really?
Look, Little Z.
So,
Bruno's my hero.
Oh, he put Bruno down
I saw
there.
you on Channel 4, Zach.
How was the breakfast? What did you guys talk about?
it was great. Not a lot of people turned out, so it was kind of, I got a real good time with Bruno for the time that I had. And he basically touched on a bunch of things, including performance-enhancing drugs in athletics.
Right,
And that
he's
was,
been against it. That's one of the reasons he didn't want to be in the Hall of Fame.
Correct. That was one of the big reasons why he didn't want to be in the
Right.
Hall of Fame, because he was against the vulgarity in wrestling, he was against the nudity, and he was against the performance-enhancing drug issue. And it wasn't until 25 years later that they assured him that they are making tremendous strides.
Against the nudity.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
was
geez,
against
you know,
male
for the
nudity.
longest time, Vince
Male
McMahon
nudity.
was the supplier of everybody with the, with the.
Well, that was
with the
part of the problem
performance
too.
enhancing.
You know, Bruno
Are
had
you
a problem
talking
with Vince McMahon.
steroids? Steroids.
So Bruno called out a couple people, Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior. He said those guys aren't natural. Anybody that does performance-enhancing drugs is no friend of Bruno. You know, he said he went to the Y and he picked up weights, and that's how he got to where he's at. You know, and the number one question that I couldn't wait to ask him, and he answered it for me before I could even say anything. I said, Bruno, of all the places you could live and all the places you could have gone, like you stayed here. He said, I stayed here the same reason you stayed here. We're sons of this city. He loves the city of Pittsburgh, and that's why he stayed here all those years. And I'm not going anywhere, and Bruno's not going anywhere either.
I didn't know you were going anywhere.
If you're born here, you're never going to go anywhere else.
And Bruno Sammartino, a lot of people don't know, still has a world record. 315 pounds, 38 reps. It's still a world record.
He has another record, too. He headlined Madison Square Garden over 200 times. So to see the Rolling Stones beat that, he was headlining Madison
They're not
Square
gonna
Garden
live long
once a
enough.
month.
They won't
Yeah,
live
he
long enough.
Against the animal steel.
He touched. I asked him about the animal still too, and he said he wasn't a big fan of George because of all of his antics and stuff like that. He's kind of like a purist. Bruno Sammartino was a real wrestler.
Hey, guess who's one of my friends on LinkedIn? George the Animal Steel.
Wow. Another
Just say-
CMU graduate.
This guy, he's a smart businessman, actually.
So wasn't he a high school teacher in Detroit?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, he's smart. So we finished up with Bruno and got on the road and took the show down to
This was your
Mountaineer.
weekend.
Yeah, we took the
Wow.
show down to Mountaineer Casino in West Virginia, and Paul, the Pittsburgh kid, Spadafora, handled business at a 10-round decision over Frankel. He's now the
NABF.
NABF super lightweight champion. So now we have two fighters in the stable. Lightning Rod Salka at 135 pounds has a belt, and the Pittsburgh kid now has a belt. So we got two belts back in the city of
They
Pittsburgh.
what, 4 pounds apart?
I want to say about give or take. but they're not going to ever fight each other.
Good.
Yeah, didn't Spatty, he won on a unanimous decision. There was no split decision.
No, it was no split decision. Paul won every round. The guy couldn't hit Paul. Paul's defense was impeccable. He was countering. You know, Paul looked really good. He actually fractured the guy's jaw. You heard it right here. I know from being in the back after the fight.
Wow.
It's mandatory when you break your jaw in boxing, you have to go to the hospital.
Really?
You have to go to the hospital when your jaw's broken in boxing. Wow. So he refused, but he ended up having to go. So shout out to Roy Jones Jr., TNT Promotions, Yankello, all the guys. You know, it was a great weekend. Everybody won. Got to be looking out for Smoking Jim. Billy Hutchinson hit a guy with an overhand right that was highlight reel material. I can't wait to see the clip from the fight. Yeah, it was a highlight reel. It was tactically the best punch I've seen probably all night, aside from Paul's body shots. Paul was hitting this guy with body shots that were just breaking him down bad.
It wore him down at the end.
Wore him down. It was beautiful.
So,
it was beautiful.
Paul, wasn't he training somewhere else, like out west or something like that?
Yeah, Paul was down in Florida. He was training down in Florida for his training camp. Then
he
came
wanted to
back.
get all distractions out of his way.
Correct.
He wanted to focus on the job at hand.
Got an advisor. His name's Lou from down in Miami. Great guy. Hopefully we can. Hey, Paul, we're gonna get you here. We're gonna get you here to Sip Sports Bar. We're gonna have you here on the show.
Oh, he's welcome.
He's coming. Believe me. He's coming. So, and we're trying to, the next fight, we're really trying to get it at the Peterson Event Center. We're trying to get Paul, the Pittsburgh kid, back here in Pittsburgh where he belongs.
Sell the place out.
That's a great thing.
Bring him back here.
Sell the place out.
They're talking Mayweather. You know, I'm going one fight at a time. We have another fight before we can even talk about Mayweather or even the possibility for Mayweather. So
yeah, but will Mayweather fight anybody that he could possibly lose to?
I don't know, but Paul sent this shirt to
Rising from the Ashes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Kid,
I like it.
To Pittsburgh
Hey, what
Sportsline.
size is that? Wait a second.
It's custom. It's custom for Lil Z.
Whoa.
It's custom for Lil Z. It's custom for Lil Z.
Oh, that's 260 here. I'm not 260.
Pittsburgh Sportsline and Brenner Contracting will be at the Golden Gloves coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we already announced it before.
Spells got guys that advanced. My guy.
There, you might as well hold this. You're promoting everything. Come on,
My guy,
buddy.
the Prophet. He's going to be fighting. Little Teddy's going to be fighting from down 51.
51 Jim, baby.
Everybody that's been a guest on this show pretty much advanced, so we got a lot of stuff to look forward to coming up this weekend.
Gerald won, JT, he won. That was one of the ones that we had a question whether he could do it. He won.
Where's the fights at this weekend?
Downtown.
Roseville Convention Center.
Doubletree.
Formerly known as
There you go. Pardon me?
Yeah, the Monzos, that's right.
If this place was a little bit bigger, we could put a ring right in here and we can have fights right in here live at Sip Sports Bar every Monday night. We might start doing that.
All right, we'll talk. If they can blow out the wall and go next to
Brenner Contracting, we're ready to blow out a wall.
Okay, that American Legion. We'll get Hutchinson here.
Hey, if there's a fight in here, I'm on the side of the kamikaze.
What's he still in the house here? Bring him back.
So, Pitt baseball's doing real good too. We had CMU guys in here. I was biting my tongue over there. I love CMU.
Hold on, one of them's from your neighborhood.
One of them is from my neighborhood, Munhall. Hey, Smoking Jim, you're beating up on Stovall a lot lately. A lot of great things. Charlie, we're getting you out the Sip Sports Bar so you can defend it for me. You know, Charlie Batch. Homestead Zone. And I'm from Upper St. Homestead. We're going Upper St.
Hold it, you're stealing you stole his line.
Bishop Boyle, he knows about Bishop Boyle. A lot of great guys went to Bishop Boyle.
Hey, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers,
McCarthy.
Bishop Boyle, graduate.
Greenfield. Hey, that's Upper St. Greenfield. Wait, Upper St. Greenfield he come from. Yeah, that's where he come from.
Yep, those McAllisters, they knew how to play basketball down there at Bishop Boyle. The Kamikaze Kid, a lot of good things happened to Bishop Boyle back in the day.
They're still here.
And I didn't even come along until 1984. So that just goes to show you the legacy and the legend. Yeah, it just gets handed down.
That's it.
So
it's in the water here.
It is in the water, Pittsburgh. Like no place in the world. I've been to a lot of beautiful places in the world. Every place in the Caribbean.
How was your trip to West Virginia? How's Mountaineer?
Oh, man, West Virginia. That's enough said.
Wow.
I'm just happy to be home. This is where I belong, right here.
Is that like Vegas? What happens in Mountaineer stays in Mountaineer.
Correct.
Okay, except for the we got Pittsburgh born. Here's Little Z from Brenner Contracting. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Smoking Jim Frazier. Chip the Prophet Hayner. Sip Sports Bar. Come on out. Great time here. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks to BPTV.